Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The Greens, Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey, have decided that they will shun the King's Scottish coronation. They won't turn up. They've been invited, but they decided not to go because they're good little Republicans. And that's absolutely fine. It does make them look rather like petulant little school children, but that's their decision. I'm sure the King won't miss them. But it is the sheer hypocrisy of it all. They're sitting there, no, we're not coming because we're Republicans. We don't agree with the King and all that. Patrick Harvey would quite happily sit down and break bread with people who've killed people. You know, he's a big IRA supporter. He mixes with these types. And Lorna Slater, well, she's Canadian. Now, technically, he is the King of Canada, but it's only one step removed. And so, you know, maybe she could have a Republic of Canada and she'd be quite happy with it. Who knows? But perhaps she should go back to Canada and fight for it. However, the worst of the hypocrisy, of course, is they're both prepared to sit in the King's Parliament and get paid the King's shilling. How weird that their principles don't extend to giving up their seats because they refuse to sit in the King's Parliament and giving up their salary because they don't want to take the King's money. It is utter hypocrisy. If you want to be a Republican, that's fine. No one's stopping you. Everyone is entitled to their political beliefs. I'm certainly not criticising people who want a republic. However, to want a republic and then take his money just seems a bit two-faced. Anyway, let's look at this, see what's going on and see why the little children won't be going to the King's coronation. Instead, they're going to be having a Republican rally. But let me guess where most people will be. Here goes. So, Greens to snub King for Scots coronation Republican rally. Yeah, there'll be about 4 men and a dog, and 2 of them are lost, you know, because who the hell's going to turn up to look at those 2? You've got the little leprechaun, the IRA loving leprechaun, and Lorna, the aerialist. I bet she's got thighs that could crush a man, but a face that would launch 1,000 chips. Look at it. Mouth open. Very woke. It's that woke, mouthy open thing, isn't it? Full of soy. Absolutely full of soy. Anyway, Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey have declined formal invitations to take part in a special ceremony to mark the King's coronation in Edinburgh. The Scottish Green Minister said the monarchy was nothing to celebrate in the 21st century. Strange, because most people kind of think it is. Did you see what happened last month in London? I heard several people turned up. Instead, Mr. Harvey will take place in a Republican rally outside Holyrood, where very few people will turn up, and those that do are always going to be a bit weird and on the outskirts of society. The losers, basically. King Charles is due to be presented with the honours of Scotland at a service of thanksgiving and dedication at St Giles. The ceremony will follow a procession, a 21-gun salute, and a flypast by the Red Arrows, weather permitting, and if raining, in the village hall. Miss Slater said, in 21st century Scotland, the monarchy is nothing to celebrate. It is out of date, an undemocratic institution. What's undemocratic about it? He doesn't vote. He's not anyone. He doesn't wield any power. He can't wield power. All the democracy is in the hands of the parliaments and in the people. The king can do nothing. He is the least... because he has no vote, he is the person in this country who's got the least affectation on democracy. He can't even vote for his local MP. And as for being out of place, it brings in way more money than anyone like President Blair would be able to do. People don't come and see, you know, President Blair, do they? They don't come. They certainly don't come up to Scotland to see Lorna Slater or Humza Yousaf. But if when the Queen was in residence, they go up and see Balmoral, wouldn't they? Anyway, she says, how can we justify a system that allows one family to enjoy so much unearned wealth and privilege at a time when millions have so little? You're earning £200,000 a year, and yet people have so little. Are you giving up any of your income? Also, if you actually look at what Charles, and his mother previously spent, it was relatively very little. They weren't living a luxuriant lifestyle. They had a nice home and they ate well, but they lived most frugally. A lot of it, of course, all these big things they were doing were all state occasions. And if you have a president or a king, those state occasions are still going to happen. The houses and the palaces will still need to be kept up as historic buildings. So it won't be any reduction in cost. But the difference is you have someone trained from birth to be the head of state. They will not put a foot wrong. They will not embarrass the country. They will not be complete and utter dicks. But you don't know what you get when you're getting a president. You know, you've got Clinton, the shagger. You know, you've got George W. Bush, the idiot. You've got Biden, I mean, mental, and Trump, divisive. Queen never put a foot wrong, did she? Anyway, she said, I will be proud to speak at our Republic rally and to stand with the 4 others who want to build a more democratic society where power and wealth belongs to the people rather than being passed down as an inheritance. Oh, so what are you going to say then? Nobody can inherit any money whatsoever. So you're saying that all money, when you die, anything you own goes to the state? Or are you going to allow inheritance? And do tell me, what power does the king have? He has no power. Might have influence, but hey, everyone in Parliament has influence. What? I can't see your argument here. Anyway, Donald Cameron, the Scottish Tory Constitution spokesman, said this stance is typical of the Greens' student politics, and Patrick Harvey's attention-seeking announcement that he'll be attending a Republican rally is predictably infantile. He wants to ask big questions. He should start with how he conducts himself as a government minister. Imagine, for example, somehow, miraculously, the Greens got into power and Patrick Harvey found himself as First Minister. He would have to meet the King. He would have to bend the knee and kiss the ring. Oh dear, Patrick Harvey. Would you give up being First Minister because you couldn't bend the knee? Anyway, the Greens may have failed to deliver a deposit return scheme, but they can definitely recycle tedious anti-monarchy rants. And on so many issues, the extremist Greens are out of touch with the majority of Scots, who see the coronation and the King's commitment to Scotland as something to celebrate. The Greens are out there on the furthest edge of society, aren't they? They're all nutters. They're all backward. They're all stupid. They haven't managed to get a single policy through in 3 years of being in government, because every policy they've had has failed because of lack of foresight, knowledge, thinking and intelligence. So we've got nothing to worry about. And they sit there and talk and talk and talk. But talk is cheap, brains cost, and they haven't got any of them. So let them have their little Republican rally where they can stamp their feet and cry. Hey, I bet Ross Greer will be there, Mummy holding his hand in case he gets lost. And Lorna Slater can be there, of course, because she needs to get her face into everything on the hope that someday someone will take her seriously. Not going to happen anytime soon though, is it? Anyway, I shall round off. I shall come up and then we shall laugh at the Greens later. Okay. They are, aren't they? They're just children. I'm not going to your party. I don't like you. You know, everyone else is going. So you can watch it on the telly later and see all the people you know. Oh, well, no, I know him. He's a Green. What's he doing there? Because I guarantee there'll be some Greens going. They seem to think that, you know, if they say something, that people will listen. And that, because we're anti-royalist and we're Republican and we're virtuous, then everyone will agree with us. And then they're very surprised when nobody does. Their whole life. I mean, this is the thing. They've got into politics, but they've got into fringe politics. Deliberately. They've deliberately done it because they've made the choice to do it. And everyone rejects everything they say. They must be masochists because they go through life, left, right and centre, being rejected. Rejected. Every policy, rejected. Everything they say, rejected. We want a republic. And then they look at the huge crowd going to see the King. Everything they do, they're on the wrong side. They're on the losing side. They are serial losers. They get nothing right. Literally nothing right. What sad lives they must have. They must be totally joyless and loving it. And I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, God save the King, and goodbye.